hello, and welcome back to Influenced by Kim. I'm your host, Hofi Kim Cohen Myers, and I'm so grateful to have you here. And it is 4:30 in the morning, you guys, on a rainy day. Miami is a weird place. Earlier today, I was in the pool, in the jacuzzi, in the pool. The sky was blue. It was a magical sunset. Now it's raining like crazy, and it has been, and I love it. It's cozy. Turn on candles all over the house vibe. Snuggle on the couch. Put on something cozy on TV. And it's all the vibes. But I felt the need. I actually thought it was 3, but fuck it. Let's just do the thing. I'm like, okay, I guess this means we're going to sleep at like minimum 5 a.m. Good times. I wanted to talk about this phase that I am in life right now. I'm in a in-between phase. It's like one leg into the old world, one leg into the future self world, and it is quite an interesting place to be in. However, it's very different. I'm in this like reinventing myself phase. I'm so fucking obsessed. I feel like I can touch it. I can hold it. I know exactly who I want to become. There's basically a character and an avatar that I've been building in my little manifestation brain. And there is an obsession behind this avatar character that I've built up in my head. It's very interesting. I have created different versions of her throughout my life. So I'm 40 and I always feel like I lived like I don't know, 12 lifetimes in this lifetime. Who knows? Maybe more. I've been a lot of characters. I've been a lot of avatars in this life. It's always like it depends on what phase of life you met me in that you met a specific avatar. It's funny, there's this trend right now. So it's 2026. Weird, crazy. 26 is one of my favorite numbers, by the way. It's vibration equals God. So yeah, that's a rabbit hole to go into. But basically 26 equals God, in numerology and Kabbalah and stuff. So it's a good number. Also, it's an even number. So even numbers are just always better than odds. Is that just me? Is that for everyone? Like, I love even numbers. Even though 7 and 9 are like also my favorites. Numbers that I don't relate to like ever in my life is 3 and 5. Like miscellaneous. I see it, I'm like, ugh, run. I can't. But anyways, there's a trend where it's 2026 and you're supposed to like post like, I don't know, like a throwback of 10 years ago, who you were, what you were doing, or whatever the fuck, like from 2016. And I did that yesterday, and it was actually fucking amazing to have content, my life from 10 years ago still in this exact phone. It's really cool that I can just tap into that. Don't really like technology, but that's something cool about technology that I do like. Kind of reminds me of like some Black Mirror episode. But what I wanted to say is, oh my God, 10 years ago, like that girl was a wild child. Like, I don't know who the fuck allowed her to swim with fucking sharks and, I don't know, swim with glaciers, sleep in the ice hotel. I don't know, fucking have snakes on me, hold stingrays, swim with sharks. Like, I don't, who the fuck is that? Like, for reals, motherfuckers. Like, who the fuck is that? I don't know her. I watched that, like, there's something that I really admire about aging, and I really admire about growing and watching myself grow and look back at my younger self. Your younger self can be you of like a week ago, but I something that's really beautifully profound that I really admire about life is watching her. Watching her. Like when I say that, I mean me, like watching her, but like watching her from the past here in the now and being like, damn, girl, you're actually fucking cooler than you realize. You're actually braver than me of the now. Like, you're like, who taught you that? Like, how did you do that? Like, where'd you get the balls to do that? Like, damn, like, I admire you. Like, I want some of that. Like, bring that back. Like, there's been a lot of times in my life where I stand where I'm currently am at, and I'm like, damn, you were so much fucking cooler when you were younger. It happens to me constantly. Um, I don't know that a lot of people can say that. I don't know that a lot of people can say that, but like, I don't know. My 28-year-old, when I was 28, I would look back at like the 19-year-old, the 20-year-old version of me, and I'm like, damn, you're fucking cool. What happened? Like for real. It's like you're partying in Hollywood, you're fucking partying at the Playboy Mansion, you were on red carpets, paparazzis were chasing you, like you did some really fucking cool shit. You had some really cool people, you were like in crazy recording studios, like I don't know, you just looked amazing, you're fucking just ruthless, like so like yeah, like you did some crazy shit. And so the 28-year-old me will look back at that version, that her, and be like, damn, you're fucking cool. But guess what? The 35-year-old version, actually, when I was 35, I would look back at the 28-year-old version of me and be like, damn, bitch, you're fucking cool. What happened to me now? I don't know if that makes sense, but and I don't know if everyone can say that about themselves. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's common. It's weird. I feel like most people think that the older they get, the better they get. But I look back and I'm like, damn, you were cooler then, and then, and then, and then. You were just cooler. Um, but I really do admire watching her. I've never like actually said that out loud, but it's true. I admire reading like journals from the past, seeing like my manifestations that I wrote, new moon rituals, like dreams, goals, looking back at things and being like, wow, like, I don't know. It's like I'm watching a movie and I'm like, damn, you played a really good character. Like that was a good time. Um, so now I'm 40. I hope that my 45-year-old self like is in love with this version of myself right now. Like how beautiful would that be? Because I feel like I'm gonna be vulnerable, like super vulnerable, and share that I feel almost like broken in this very moment in life, my very moment in time. And I also do know though, life's taught me lots. That means that you're right around the corner of a breakthrough, and something massive is gonna happen and about to explode. And that's something that I've definitely been feeling and knowing. It's like definitely been brewing inside of me. And when I fucking say brewing inside of me, I fucking like mean that like word by word. Something has been brewing inside of me. It has for a while. Okay, it has for like a year and a half-ish. But it was like, I don't know, when you're cooking, like I have like I don't know, an electric oven. Like I don't know what the heck it's called, a gas oven. Like no, power electric. I think it's electric. I do prefer gas, but it's electric. So not by preference. So I think it like, the highest is like, I don't know, is it a 10? Is it a 9? Whatever. I feel like for a year, it's like someone turned on the fire and it started at like a low, not even a fucking like real heat, right? And it's someone slowly, motherfucking slowly been turning up the heat, and it's been like simmer, it's been on low, and it's been on 2, and it's been on 3, and like while it's being twisted into like a higher heat, I'm about to explode. Um, the notch has been turned very, very slowly, and we're cooking something. We've been cooking something for a while. Um, but I'm gonna go back real quick and talk about the younger version of myself. Of 10 years ago, I looked at like what I wore and what I thought was cute and how I thought like my cute little hats were so cute and like poor little girl, she thought like that outfit was cute. I can see that, but like I don't know, I just look at like how I spoke, which I spoke completely different. I actually sound different. How I spoke and what I wore and my body language. I don't know. It like I feel like she's like a baby. She was 30, but she feels like a baby to me. So wild. Anyways, well, something's been brewing inside of me for a while, and she's slowly merging. And I'm in this place where I'm like, God damn it. Like, I just want to fucking make her just happen, like right here in the motherfucking now. Like, just like stop, let's go, like fucking make her happen. And I could. I actually could tap into it in a snap of a fucking finger and just make her happen. I'm telling you. So I'm gonna go back to the fact that I've been creating an avatar in my brain of the future version of myself. I'm gonna say this. I always knew that this avatar was going to, I don't know how do I explain this? I think that life is a video game. I think that people take life too seriously. Life's a video game. You get to play multiple characters in this lifetime. And I fucking mean that. I mean that. You can be the boho gypsy, and you can be the religious girl, and you can be the Hollywood slut, and you can be the old money elite all at the same fucking time. And I mean, like in the same lifetime, right? And you can just like, I don't know, not fucking care about what you're wearing and how you look and what your hair looks like, and just be very like insanely basic and I don't know, maybe volunteer in some third world country shit. And then I don't know, you could pick to be the other avatar who's like some fucking Monaco elite elegant bitch that wears her brand names, and you can be both of them in this lifetime. You can be whatever the fuck you want. You can pick to be as many characters as you want. And um life's like a movie. Life is a fucking movie, you guys. And it's really fun to play characters in this lifetime. It's fun to dress up. It's fun to play characters. It's fun to put on a show, even for yourself. Whether it's through clothes or creating movies in your fucking head. And my point is like, I have this avatar girl, and so many times in my life, I was like, I knew that she would come one day. That's what I did know. I knew that she was pending. She was standing the sideline. So it's like a video game where, like, not like Sims. I don't feel like Sims is the best metaphor, but you know, like those video games like Sega, like whatever, you get to fucking pick like there was like a fighting video games when you were a kid. I forgot what it's called. Motor Combat. Is that maybe what it is? I'm not sure. Ask my brother. But you just got to pick like an avatar. And even when you play any game, you get to pick an avatar, you know, like how it looks. And then you play, let's say in Moto Combat, if that's the name of the game, and you like pick the ninja guy, and you're like, I don't actually like him. He sucks. He doesn't even have any skills. I want like the dragon to be me now, you know? And you play the dragon, you're like, ooh, like he does crazy shit with his tail. I kind of like him. And then you want like the Asian kung fu girl, right? And you switch. Like, I really do believe that life gets to be that fucking fun when you're like, okay, I'm done with this character. I'm gonna go play this one. I don't know if any of this is making sense. I don't know if maybe I'm just too, I don't know. I don't know what I am. I don't even know what the right word is, but too, like, maybe I'm just like whimsical and playful, and I don't know. I get the human experience here on Earth. But anyways, the point is there's an avatar. I always knew the day will come. Well, I will pick that avatar in the video game called my life. And it's funny because many times in the past, I'm like, I can pick her, but I don't really need to pick her right now. I can pick her, but just don't really see the point right now. I know that if I want to, I can be her, but I don't really see the point. It's like different times in my life. I kind of was like, she's there. I see her. I'm gonna pick her one day. I just not yet. Just not yet. Yeah. And now it's time. It's time to be her. And once I decide, and once you decide, something fucking clicks. It gets locked in. I felt like I never had a reason to become her. And it gets really fucking deep. It gets really deep on what I'm even fucking talking about. Like avatar characters, becoming a character in this lifetime. I'm about to have the fucking time of my life becoming her. And she's been brewing in the background, not just for a year and a half. She's been brewing in the background for a very long time, but this last year and a half is like, okay, like let's turn it on. Gosh, there's so much I can say, but there is a place where you just came from, aka what you had just experienced in this life. And I'm just like, so many people need to hear what I have to say. It's such valuable information, but do I want to say all of it? I don't know. Like, it's like, I would definitely charge people for what I want to say, but I'm like, do I want to say all of it? But when you come from a dark experience, a dark timeline, dark night of the soul, a dark era, something very traumatic that has happened to you, you have to be very careful. I will say that. People normally tend to suppress and pretend like none of it happened, and then they create an avatar, and they're not actually healing anything. They're masking away, and it's very tricky. You have to be very tricky and intentional with what you're doing, because if you mask it, it's gonna hunt you back. So when you're switching to the new avatar, you got to do it with like very specific intentionality. But obviously when you go through something dark, you like don't want to be associated with that version of you or that situation or that whole thing, because it just reminds you of darkness and sadness and trauma and shock and all the things, and you want to run away from it, you know? And I completely understand that. And so you can literally decide and just become someone else, like in the snap of a fucking finger. And I could do that. I'm choosing to not do it in that way because I know the repercussion that it has when you don't heal and you just jump into a new character. Do you know what I'm talking about? When you jump into a new character out of anger and sadness and betrayal, and you're like, I'm going to become this person because no one's ever going to do da 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 da. You know what I'm talking about? Right? And then you just make a decision, and then you just kind of close off your heart. So we're not trying to come from that place. You can still be angry, but I guess like what I'm trying to say, there's multiple things I want to say. There is a new character brewing inside of me, and she already started. She's already here. She's already started. And once you like, maybe it's a spiritual awakening. Like, what the fuck? Could be. Wow. I never thought about it that way, but I've had like 3, I believe, in this lifetime. And this is a different one. Yeah, once something clicks, something dramatic needs to happen, something needs to wake you the fuck up, and then something clicks, and then like you can't see the world the same on like a new level. Yeah, I was always wondering when we would get here, but we're fucking here, and like I'm fucking fully dilated, like I'm actually obsessed with this new version. But and with that, it's like I want an entire fucking life makeover. And some of it's not accessible to me immediately, as of in this very moment in time. And I'm like, oh, I have like a fucking fire inside of me. Like I just want to literally change everything, because I'm attached to this avatar character and the life that she gets to have, and it's everything. It's from the way that I dress to the way that I speak to the like what I eat to how my hair looks and the color of it and the furniture in my house and the style of my house and the car that I drive and the types of travels that I have. And it is intertwined into just literally like an entire character. I'm like, fuck, like, I'm like, So I feel like some people will listen to this and be like, what the fuck is she talking about? And it's like, I guess you'll just have to wait and see. Like, just wait and see. And so some things are, it's like it's already begun, it's already started, and I've adjusted, and I'm still in the process of adjusting things. And there's a lot of things that need adjustment and change, like drastic. Some things are small, some things are big, some things take longer, and some things take shorter. Yeah, but it has begun. And if you've seen my content recently, you can just tell by my feed, it has begun. But I wanted to record this podcast in relations to all of this, and also to talk about like, so now I'm like in this in-between phase. I'm in an in-between phase of what I just experienced in the last little bit more than a year of my life, which was horrendous in infinite ways. I have a lot of unprocessed trauma, a lot. And it's finding me in interesting moments and in timelines. And me and Ben, like, we really want to have a family, and we really want to have kids, and we really want to start soon. And we're like, where the fuck are they? Like, come on, like, just like come, just like manifest. And at the same time, I'm constantly reminded on an everyday basis that I'm still not okay with what happened to me in the last year and a half. There's a lot of unhealed trauma, like tremendous trauma. It's massive. It's fucking massive. It's really big. It's a lot. It's not just one thing. It's too many things that I need to fucking process. And it's actually so overwhelming because it just shows up constantly in the biggest but also smallest things throughout my day. And so there are moments where I'm like, hey, like, I'm ready to start a family, right? I want to have kids. And sometimes I'm like, bitch, who the fuck are you kidding? You're insane. What are you talking about? Like, go heal yourself first. And there's a part in me that I'm really intentional with everything that I do, even when I don't have like full-blown clarity on shit, and I'm not like emotionally okay or whatever, emotionally stable. But one thing for sure is I know, I'm going to say this. There's been multiple times in the last year and a half where I thought, okay, we're ready to have a family. Let's make babies. And then we would try. And then like a month or two later, I'm like, actually, like, it's not time. And it's like, there's this back and forth where it's actually not time. But like at the same time, I'm also like, I'm trying not to be, but I'm attached to time because I'm 40. I'm about to be 40 and a half, which is gnarly in February, right? So it's like, there's a part of me that doesn't want to be attached to time because I'm not a person that's attached to time or space. Like, I just, my neighbor, my really good friend across the street, my neighbor, she's like having a close encounter with me in most recent time since I moved here. And she's just like constantly like shocked at the fact that I don't know what fucking day it is. And like, I'm sometimes like, oh shit, it's Friday, it's Shabbat. Like, what? I thought it was Wednesday. I thought, like, she's like, what the fuck, Chofit? Like, what planet are you on? And it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't do weekend. Like, every day's a fucking vacation. Every day is a motherfucking vacation in my world. I don't like weekends. Like, weekends are like Mondays and Tuesdays. Like, there's no big difference. Like, what is time? Like, I don't fucking know. I don't wake up by alarm. I wake up whenever I want, go to sleep whenever I want. That's why we're having this fucking chat at like 4:30 in the morning. Exactly. Like, seasons, like, I don't fucking know seasons. I live in Miami, bitch. Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? So I really am not attached to time naturally as a human being. And I've been like that for a very long time, which is very interesting because I am a very type A personality, but like, this is very type, I'm a very type A personality as of here and the now. But originally, for a very long time, I was type B, which is where this comes from. This, like, I don't fucking know what day it is, what time it is, what day of the week it is, what time, like, meh, like, wow. Like, I haven't woken up by an alarm in many years, unless there's like a flight or something. But I like wish that time just genuinely didn't exist, and I wouldn't have to be like, oh my God, I'm 40 and I want to have 4 kids. So, like, I need to fucking start. But I also feel like time is of the essence. No, I feel like time is not linear to everyone. I don't know how the fuck to explain this, but I have like a very deep rabbit hole of understanding of like time and like, hold on, I'm watching my shark record me. My shark, which is like a robot, it just like turns on and fucking spies on me all the time. Very cool. Just kidding, it's not. How do I fuck do I explain this? Like, I'm 40. Everyone thinks I'm 28. When people meet me, they think I'm 28. I act like I'm 28. It's cool, but I'm still 40. Which is like whatever, right? But like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to fucking like verbalize this shit. But like, essentially, like, I was always meant to have my children when I was always meant to have them. You know what I mean? Like, they were never supposed to be born earlier. Otherwise, it just would have been born earlier. Like, time doesn't really exist and everything has already happened. And I already have kids and they're going to happen in the future. And they were always meant to happen there. And you can't really cheat, like, whatever is written for you. Whatever's in your soul contract, whatever's written in the stars for you, whatever you have, like, your soul agreement with God, like, you can't cheat that. Your children get to reincarnate whenever the heck they want, and they have their own timeline, and it has nothing to do with me. Even though I'd love the world to revolve around me, it has nothing to do with me. Sometimes I constantly try to decide what zodiac signs my children are going to be. And while that idea is beautiful, and I'd love to be very 3D about it, be like, it's funny. We try to have a baby. We try to get pregnant this month, but I wanted to, but I also didn't want to. It's like really funny. So we tried once. Now this month I don't want to, because so I'm gonna rewind and tell you that I want a Leo baby. I want a Leo baby. Me and my husband are both Leos. My son Peanut is a Leo. Like, I just want a fucking Leo baby. And we kind of missed the cutoff for the Leo. It just like wasn't the right time. Okay. And then I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. I was like, okay, I'm trying to think of how to verbalize this, but like, essentially, there's like what I want, what we want as human beings. And then there's like I said, like, other souls involved on the other side, right? And it's like, I can be like, I want a fucking Leo baby, but like my child's like, okay, but I'm going to be a Capricorn. So enjoy, right? And so there's like what I want, there's like your plan, and there's God's plan. And I do this thing a lot where I'm like, I don't want a September baby. I don't want an October baby. Like, I don't like those seasons or those months. I don't really relate. I want an X. So I literally will try to not, like, I don't know, not have sex, but like try not to get pregnant during those times and be like, we can't have sex like in these few days because I don't want a September baby, right? I'm funny like that. But obviously my baby has its own timeline and his own zodiac sign, and like, my children, they've already decided when they're going to reincarnate and what zodiac sign they're going to be and when they're going to be born, because we all actually get to decide these things. Like, do you think that I didn't decide that I was going to be a Leo and reincarnate on August 12th of 1985? Like, of course I did. When the moons were going to be like this and the sun was going to be like this, so that I would get that type of personality that I am. Of course I did. I made, like, that's part of my soul contract, and it's part of your soul contract, like all that stuff. You get to decide, and you get to become, you don't just randomly become a certain zodiac sign, or like be birthed as no, nothing's random. It's just thought you should know. And so, well, I'm cute over here and I'm trying to like be like, I don't want a Virgo baby. I don't want a Libra baby. It's like all comical to my children that are watching me from the other side, because they're like, they don't really get a choice. So anyways, I also for a while was trying to be controlling about like the type of, I just feel like, here's the thing, like, I just feel like if you're gonna allow me to choose, I'm just gonna be more excited about it. Okay, like, I'm going to be honest with you, okay? Like, we try to have a baby this month, and it wasn't because I actually wanted to do it this month, like this past month that just happened. So if we would have gotten pregnant, it would have been a September baby. Sorry if I was born in September. But we Leos kind of feel weird about Virgos. We just feel like Virgos are like wannabe Leos because they have a lot of the same Leo tendency, but they're not as great as us. Sorry, not sorry. So I don't even know how this conversation drifted into this, but essentially, I decided that I'm sometimes like trying to be too controlling of the situation of when our children get to be born. And like, I'm going to go back and say, like, here's the thing, like, I love the month of December. Yeah, I don't think that I would mind like an end of November baby, like if we're at this timeline, like if we're aligning, you know, the timelines now. Like a November baby is cool. December, love that. Some January, yeah. Don't want a March or an April baby. Nope, gonna skip that. So here's my thought. I thought I didn't want a September baby, right? But we tried. We tried to get pregnant just this 1 month. And I did it because I'm like, okay, Khofit, but like you also have to allow your baby to reincarnate whenever it's supposed to. You can't just like try to control that. Otherwise you're gonna wait another year. Also, whatever is meant to happen is going to happen anyways. But I was like, you can't be so controlling on when your child wants to reincarnate. Like, you can't be like, I only want a Scorpio. But like, do you get what I'm saying? So I was just giving the child the benefit of the doubt. But I also was like, I'm not going to lie. If it was born in September, like, I'd kind of be like, not as excited. Like, I don't really like September. I don't care for September. But the reason why I tried also was like, maybe it might be born early. And then they would have been an August baby. But you know what? I'm not pregnant. And yeah, it was funny because it took the pregnancy test and I realized that I wasn't. And Ben was kind of sad. And I was like, no, it's okay. I didn't want a September baby. And he just kind of fucking laughed. He's like, you're insane. And it's true. It's funny. What the fuck? Like, it's true. Okay. And then I realized, like, fuck that. Like, I just gotta be me. I really just got to be me. Like I tried for a month to be like, okay, let's just give the child the benefit of the doubt. I'll just do it every single month, and whenever they want, they'll just come through. I don't want to fucking play that game. Like, I actually genuinely be excited about the month that my child's gonna be born in. You know what I mean? And I know that things can happen. Like, my really close friend, one of my best friends, like her children came 3 weeks before. Like things like that could happen. I know, but this is going to be so comical to look back one day. I can't wait. I can't wait my 45-year-old self to listen to this podcast episode and just crack the fuck up. Anyways, so I have these months where I think that I'm ready and then I realize that I'm not. So September was one of those months where I realized, so I thought I wanted it, even though I didn't really want September. See, here's the thing. You can pretend all you want, but your body knows. And like, how do I explain this? Like, you can try to convince yourself of, I don't care if it's in September as long as it's healthy. But like, you actually don't really believe that. And guess what? Your body doesn't listen to the bullshit that you're saying. It like knows. It has inner knowing, and it's like, okay, she's not 100% on this. Like, it's a void. I'm telling you. But so we try to get pregnant, and then I kind of like, after our relation, I like started to kind of freak the fuck out, and then I realized that I'm actually not ready for this. Like, I really want it, but like, it's just, it is not the time yet. I don't want to be pregnant before I've healed all the shit that I need to heal. And there's a lot of shit to heal. But I'm also thinking about time. And I'm trying to be like, but time doesn't really exist. And like, let's just like put time aside. It's very hard to be human. Can we just agree on that? It's very hard to be human. Like, I'm trying to be fucking 5D, but also 3D. I'm a spiritual being having a physical experience here on earth. I'm like, okay, time doesn't really exist, but also like, okay, we do need to factor in some time. And I also know that I'm going to have everything I fucking want. Boom. End of story. I always get everything I want in this lifetime. You always get everything you want in this lifetime. The time doesn't matter. God makes miracles happen. Knock wood, but for reals. And that is like proven fact on repeat from God that has shown me throughout this life. So I know I'm going to get everything I fucking want. But I don't want to get pregnant with unhealed shit that's literally living in my fucking body, because trauma literally lives. It lives in your body. It lingers in your body. It manifests into diseases. It's stuck and trapped energy in your chakras and in different places in your body. It could be in your brain, and it can be in your spine, and it can be hiding in different places in your body. And you're also, so not only are you, the more things you heal within yourself, it changes your DNA. And then when you get pregnant, your child doesn't have to struggle with that. The things that you don't heal, you actually genetically transfer to your children that are growing inside of you. So there's two different things. There is the traumas, the generational traumas, or just traumas in general that you have not healed from. They get transferred into your child's DNA. That's one. But two, I don't want to be pregnant because my body right now is dealing with a lot of trauma, and it shows up to me all the time, every single day in different ways. I'm really good with shadow work. It's my specialty. It's what I fucking coach the fuck out of people on. And I just can see things that most people would never catch within themselves, that I catch within myself. And I wouldn't want to birth an innocent baby in a body that's currently holding on to so much anger and sadness and betrayal and trauma, and have them be created in an environment like that. It's very deep, and it's actually very selfless, may I add. And it's very intentional, but it's the truth. And so it's one of the reasons why I don't want to get pregnant this month. I really want to focus this month on trying to heal a lot of my trauma that shows up every single day in small and in big ways. I've become very fearful of life because of all that I was exposed to this past year in endless ways. And I see it. Here's one of the ways that I see it additionally, because currently I'm consuming a lot of content on Instagram, which is something I actually fucking never do. I don't consume content. I fucking create, which is another thing I wanted to say. Deep. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have a good one for you. Wow. There's just a lot of downloads that are happening right now. See, so fucking, you're so thankful that I recorded this in the middle of the night. I know you are. Yeah. I just had like a download. Okay. Hold on. Where there was a lot that just went down in my brain. I need to heal my nervous system. And so there's so many ways that it shows up. So one of the ways that I've gained weight, I've gained a lot of weight. For me, it's the fattest, I guess, that I've ever been, but I don't think that I'm fat. I do to an extent, but I also know that it's not fat. I know that it's trauma. I know that my body is held on to so much food that turned it into fat, whatever, because of trauma. But a lot of it has to do with inflammation. And I also know that once I start regulating my nervous system, that the weight's just going to come off. And I actually watched a video about that today, and it was a beautiful reminder, because that's actually one of the ways that I lost weight the first time many years ago in 2017. That's so fucking wow. In 2017, I had gained 15 pounds, maybe more. I lost it all. And then I maintained it for 10 years. But then what happened to me this year, it was just trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma, 50 fucking traumas a day. Not 50, but multiple traumatic experiences a day on repeat. I literally thought I was gonna fucking die, you guys, from the amount of trauma that I was exposed to. Like, nothing in life could have ever prepared me for that shit. I've already had a lot of trauma throughout my life. I feel like I want to say the queen of trauma. That's fucking terrible. Ew, don't want that title on myself. But like, I really knew how to hold trauma until it was just Dracarys on me. Like, you watch Games of Thrones, you've ever watched like those fucking dragons that just shoot fucking fires out of their mouth and just burn down villages and everything in front of him and like murder like thousands of people. That's how I felt like that's what was done to me. I wasn't Dracarys as someone that was done to me repeatedly. And so I felt like dragons from different directions were trying to murder me and burn me and my village down. Like, I went through a lot of trauma. I went through a lot of betrayal. I'm still struggling to speak about all of it, and I still feel like not all, like most. So I went through a lot of trauma in so many different categories. And so one of the things that shows up is obviously my weight, but I'm going to try to like filter this through. But different things that traumatized me on a massive scale was Ben. Ben traumatized the shit out of me an infinite amount of times this year in so many different categories. And then what happened to us after we left our home, there were so many things that traumatized me about not having a home and all that comes with that. Like, you know, we didn't have a car. We didn't know where we're sleeping. Sometimes we had a car, like towards the end we did, but we didn't know where we're sleeping. We would always book 2 days in advance because things were never as they seemed. Also traumatizing. Things weren't as they seemed online. And we never knew like where we're sleeping the next day. It was the most chaos I could have ever. It was so chaotic. It was so chaotic. It was chaos on a level that I don't know if I could ever describe into words. Maybe if I write a book one day, I'll be able to. But the level of uncertainty, the level of not knowing when my next meal was going to happen and when am I going to get water. Some days we didn't have water. Some days we didn't have food. Some days we were stranded. Some days we had no power. Gosh. Some days we had no water. Some days we got stuck in elevators. Some days we were in the jungles of Tulum. God, like there was so many things that happened to us. And Ben's mental health was really scary. That really scared me and traumatized me. My family has massively traumatized me this year. Ben's massively traumatized me on levels I can't even explain, but my family, certain people that I thought were my friends, so many things fucked with me. Royalty, like not having a home, not finding a home, not being able to get a home for months, thinking that I'm saying all of this and I feel like I sound like a fucking idiot and it's because I feel like I can't fully speak openly because of the level of traumas and things that I had experienced in these months. Every time I talk about this, I make this all sound very surface level and very general. And it's because I feel like I'm protecting incidences and people and things that have happened. But I was frozen, speechless, like some fucking character in a movie and not in a good movie, like in some war, like there's bombs falling and they're like frozen and they can't even hear anything. It's like people are like, move, and they're just frozen. Like that was me like an infinite amount of times this year when my jaw was literally dropped to my fucking knees and I just was frozen and traumatized repeatedly. Yeah, I can't. I feel like I'm still not, I'm not like, okay about talking about like what I had endured in this past year, but I've never felt more alone in my entire life. And there were so many traumas that kept compiling on top of each other. And I never got a moment to breathe. I never got a moment to come up for some water. It was just like fucking drowning me and drowning me and drowning me and drowning me. And I'm like, how the fuck am I still alive? Kind of a thing. So, traveling traumatized me. I can't view traveling the same. I can't view hotels the same. I can't view restaurants the same. Like, I can't view, like, I don't know what the fuck, you guys. Like, whatever normal people experience here on earth, like, I can't view the basic shit the same anymore. I sometimes wonder, like, how did anyone on the other side think that I am that strong? Because what I was given was a fucking Mount Everest to overcome. And I'm like, when is this gonna fucking stop? Like, the level of trauma, like, I can't, like, it's so hard to conceptualize it. I don't know how to conceptualize the level of trauma that I went through. And so it shows up in my everyday. So one of the things that I decided to do when we first moved here was like, wow, I can finally rest. Wow, I can finally breathe. Wow, I don't have to fucking run, pack a million suitcases. I have a home. And in November, I was trying to like figure things out here. Like, I don't know, moving things, but trying not to like rush, trying to kind of regulate my nervous system. And like, I don't know, December 1st or like end of November, Ben came to me and he's like, I have these goals and this goals. He told me all of his goals for December. And I was like, oh shit, I gotta like do that for myself, even though I was definitely not ready. And then I tried, and just like trying to write down like a few goals literally made me panic and start crying. And I'm the most goal-oriented person like you'll ever know. I'm like so ambitious. There's always a million goals. I started to like panic and cry. I was so overwhelmed. I wanted to like conquer the world because I felt so behind. It was like I was delusional completely with what I wrote. I remember I typed it into ChatGPT and he's like, girl, you're insane. And then I realized, actually, I'm not even fucking ready. I'm not even ready to do any of this. I just need more time to rest. And I kind of feel like that. I've made some moves this January, but I definitely feel like I still need time to rest. And when I say rest, I mean heal. I mean take shit calmly. When am I ever gonna have the capacity to actually share some of the things that I went through? Like, I don't know. I just know that I was probably traumatized, like, I don't say this number lightly, like 200 times. Dramatic as fuck. Each one of those dramatic as fuck situations. And I feel like saying 200 times in 2025, I was traumatized 200 times in 2025. I feel like that's an understatement. I mean traumatized. And I think it's more than 200 times. I know what trauma means. I know you're listening to me like, maybe no, like, listen to me. I know trauma. Like, I know my fucking name. And I don't know how I'm still alive with the amount of trauma that I went through. And I'm also in this place where I'm like, back to the avatar. I'm like, let's make her, let's be her. And she's already merged. She's already started. But there's so much trauma that's not allowing her to be birthed yet, like to its full capacity. She's like loading, but she's not. And it's because I'm so heavily traumatized. Here's an example. Ben wants to go on a trip to Europe. His dream is to take his dog to the snow. His dream is Switzerland. He wants to go to Italy. I love Italy. Love the snow. But the idea of getting on a plane and traveling, doesn't matter where, doesn't fucking matter where, freaks me the fuck out. I feel so traumatized. Normally I would run towards a plane. I'm running please no. Like, please let me not go anywhere for a long time. But I also want to go. I also really want to go. But I'm also so traumatized that the idea of like putting my things in a suitcase and that level of chaos fucking freaks me out. Panic attack. Like I don't, just like the idea of traveling is traumatizing to me. And like, we want a really luxury trip right now, okay? Like when we were basically homeless, living out of hotels, like that shit was not luxury at all. Every once in a while we splurged, but I mean, we were like in shit, retarded hotels. There were 3 and 4 stars. And wants to give me the world, and I'm like, he's like, pick any hotel. I don't care how much it is, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I've been doing that since September. Sorry, since December. Since December, we were supposed to go like December 22nd to Europe. And I just keep postponing it and pushing it, and maybe another week and another week and another week. And I'm just like, wow, there's like an underlining avoidance energy happening here. And it's because I'm heavily traumatized. And so I'm in a place where I'm in this pending era. Don't know. That's a weird fucking thing to say. It doesn't make any sense. I'm in the in-between moments right now where I'm looking back at where I came from and what I had gone through. And I'm so sad for that girl. And I don't know how the fuck she survived. And I am so heavily traumatized that I also forgot a lot of things that happened because they were so traumatizing. But when I tell you I had like multiple panic attacks every single day, not anxiety attacks, panic attack, way worse. But I had them from April until November, the beginning of November. Like, do you understand the severity of the situation? Like, I had panic attacks every single day for, I think, more than a half a year, where I had chest pain and my stomach and I would just get nauseous and dizzy. And I didn't even trust, like, my soul did not trust itself in this body. Like, it was just, everything was so dysregulated. And so these are some of the ways that it shows up. Like my trauma is like, yeah, like I don't even want to go on a trip. Like I do, but I don't. I mostly don't. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I want and I can't, and they freak me out. Or like, for example, like if I used to do a lot of intermediate fasting, not intentionally. I just don't remember that I didn't eat. But I used to be able to do that. I used to wake up and like drink coffee and like just, I don't know, work and just be in the zone and not eat till 6. And I was fucking good with it. And wake up at 9, eat at 6 p.m. And there's this thing that happens to me now where I will wake up and I'll just get busy doing whatever the fuck. And I'll have like a coffee, I'll have like a matcha, I'll have like a celery juice. So random. And then, I don't know, let's say it's like 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I'll realize that I did not eat. And instead of just eating and be like, oh shit, I didn't eat. Okay, and then just go eating. The moment that I realize that I did not eat, I go into full blown, like I panic. I start like hyperventilating. I freak the fuck out. My brain literally thinks that it's going to die. I think that I'm going to die. I start like freaking out. And the moment that I realize, like literally the moment that I realize that I did not eat, I start to get lightheaded. I start to get dizzy. I feel sick. I start to get nauseous. I start to get dizzy. I almost pass out. I almost faint. It's psycho. That's like the level of trauma. Or if I leave the house and I am in the car and all of a sudden I realize that like I didn't drink enough water today, or I actually forgot my water bottle, I literally have a panic attack. I start to hyperventilate. I start to like not be able to breathe. And my body thinks it's gonna die. I start to get lightheaded. I need to like pull over the car because I'm no longer capable of driving. It's pretty bad. And so obviously in that kind of a state, I just don't feel like, first of all, I don't feel like I can get pregnant in that kind of a state. I feel like I need to get that shit situated. But I also can't create the character. And additionally, I can't create life. So on the consciousness map of frequencies and vibration, there are different hertz, and anything under 200 hertz is bad. Anything, I'm going to say this, I'm going to flip it. Anything above 200 hertz is the creative energy. And so the thing is, and you can be happy. I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. But there's also like where your body is at, you know, like where your real mindset's at. Like you can try, you can try to be happy and you can be a positive person, which I am, but that does not take away the fact that I'm like highly traumatized and highly triggered and highly like overly emotional. And I cry from fucking everything. So the creative energy is at over 200 hertz. That's where you get to be creative. And when I say creative, I mean creative in any and every category of life, right? So I mean creative as in creating content, creating business ideas, creating money, making money, creating a home, creating health, creating human life, right? Anything at 200 hertz is a creative energy. And if you want to create a human baby, or you want to create content or money flow or whatever, you need to be operating at over 200 hertz. Does that make sense? And so the thing is if you're not operating at 200 hertz and you're at shame, guilt, anger, sadness, what else is on there? I don't remember, but shame and guilt, sadness, anger. What's that one word? Pride. If you're like on any of those vibrational frequencies, you can't create. Do you hear me? You literally can't fucking create. You can try. It's just nothing, no good shit's gonna come out of it, right? Like you have free will. Like if you're like, let's say like I'm vibrating in a low vibrational state, like I could try to have a baby. Yeah, go for it. Try. Keep trying. But are you gonna create one? Are you like, no, you're really not. It's actually science. It's actually like your body needs to be vibrating at a specific frequency. Also, like creating a new life for yourself. You can't create a new life from yourself from a low vibrational state. Can't do that. You can picture the new life. You can imagine the version of you that is happy, but you have to tap into that field. And sometimes, many times in life, like you can literally just choose it and you become it. And that's kind of how I've done most of life, where I'm like, I don't want to be sad. And then I'm like, I'm not. And then I'm like, okay, I let it go. I surrender and I let it go. And I'm just like vibrating on a high. It's just like a snap of a finger, boom, shabam. And you're operating at a high vibrational state. But then, so that's how it mostly is for most people. They just have to choose it. They literally just have to fucking choose it. Most people are very stubborn and they hold on to like grudges and sadness and like, sorry, unawarely, or like they just do. And there's this new thing. It's not, I don't know how new it is, but it feels new. Where you've been heavily traumatized. And that one, it takes longer. It takes way more than just deciding and becoming, because you can't fake it. And you can, but you're not going to get a genuine outcome. It's not, I'm telling you, trust your girl. I'm telling you, like, if you try to cheat this, you can't cheat the system. There's a process that you have to go through. You can't fucking skip healing. You can pretend, but that shit's going to catch up with you in the future. Maybe not immediately. Like, could you get like result? Like, yeah, you can get like great results, but it's still going to catch up with you. It's always going to chase you. It's going to be a fucking shadow. It's always going to fucking be there and you can't get rid of it. So whenever you're dealing with a traumatic situation, and this is something that's very hard for me a lot of times, is I'm like a manifestor generator. I manifest things really fast. I know how to manifest. I know how to quantum leap. But then there are these moments where I'm heavily traumatized, and I'm angry at the fact that it's not happening fast enough and I'm not being compassionate towards the healing that needs to happen. And I'm trying to rush it. And healing is not linear. It can't really fucking rush it. It has its own timeline. You just need to tune in and like do the work and heal it. I think I'm just in a place where there's a tremendous amount of healing that needs to occur for me. Tremendous. And I don't even know where the fuck to begin. I feel like I need a lot. I need a lot, you know? Ben, first of all, I needed Ben to heal himself first before I could heal. Because what was happening in the last more than whatever, like a year and a half, was that I was trying to make my life better and work on my nervous system, and Ben was like self-sabotaging his fucking life like a fucking maniac, like a tornado. He was self-sabotaging. And being his partner, what would happen is I am like bubbly, wobbly, I was like trying to work out. I was trying to regulate my nervous system. I was like quitting coffee, switching to matcha. But he was self-sabotaging so heavily that it would constantly affect me, and he would ruin everything that I was doing that was positive. And he was making everything extremely difficult, way more difficult. Like, it was already fucking hard, right? It's already hard to like lose weight or walk 10K steps a day or work out when you haven't done it, or like quit coffee. Like, it's already hard enough as it is, but then he would just make it like a million times worse. And I would try to help him heal him and then continue on with my journey, but he just literally made it impossible. And he would just self-sabotage himself and then self-sabotage our relationship. And he would just do all these weird ass shit that like, it got to a point, and I was just trying to fight for my existence, not fight him, but like try even harder to be healthier and try even harder. Like, even though he was making everything very difficult. And then it got to a point where I realized that until he doesn't fix himself, I can't fix me, because he was ruining it for me. He was taking up so much space in a very narcissistic way that was just not, I couldn't, there was like, I don't, it's like you can't, I don't know, you can't like build something good in like a toxic environment, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm like, okay, I first need to get him to not be toxic so that I can continuously work on myself. And it took a very long time to stabilize Ben, and to bring him back to reality and normality. It took a village. It took a fucking village. Ben now has a life coach who's helped him a lot. He did a ceremony in Tulum called Bufo, which is kind of like ayahuasca, but different. It's actually like way more crazy. We did some shaman stuff. We did some energy work and Sedona. We've done a lot of work on Ben. And I just was like putting it on him. Just let him get better. Let him get stable, because I can't fix me until he is not fixed. Because when I try to fix me, he self-sabotages me and him. Like, he just ruins everything for everyone. So I'm like, let's get him normal. And now that Ben is normal, we'll call it that. And he's made like tremendous transformation. Thank fucking God. Now it's time for me to do me. But for a long time, like, is it time yet? Because I was so petrified that I would once again put in so much work on bettering myself, and then he would come and just destroy it, which is something he was just doing for months for me. And now the time has come, and now I'm like, oh my God, where the fuck do I even begin? Because there's so much healing that needs to occur. And so I'm not ready to have a baby yet, because I'm not in the creative flow. I'm in the trauma zone. So I'm like under the 200 hertz, not 24/7, but I just feel like, I'm not depressed. I'm not like that, but I just feel like there's a lot that needs to be healed. I literally feel like I need a fucking village. Like, I need a village now. Like, I need some energy healers. Yeah, like, I need like someone do some kundalini on me. I need some massages. I need some acupuncture. I need some like meditation. I need a lot. I need a lot of energy to be moved around in my body. I need the trauma to literally escape. There's a bunch of videos that I watch on Instagram with different content that is about releasing trauma from different parts of your body. And I've been doing this exercise where, okay, you lay down on your bed, lay down in the middle or whatever on your side, and you basically have your knees, like you bend your knee, you're laying down and bend your knees, and then you slowly separate your knees and you try to go as low as you can, right? Going down. And your feet should be like facing each other, touching each other, palm to palm. And you go as low as you can. And what that actually does is most of our trauma, a huge part of our trauma, especially for women, but also men, is stored in our hips. A lot of people need hip replacements. Trauma is stored in hips. And there's a lot of trauma that's stuck there. And it's also important for like pregnancy and shit like that, right? Childbearing hips. But there's such as you do. And when you do it, you're actually releasing trauma from the hips. You're supposed to hold it for as long as you can. Then you bring your legs back up slowly. It's really hard after you've held that position. And you do that kind of multiple times. I try to do like 3 sets of that. I do that like before I go to bed. It's been really life-changing, to be honest. It's like you feel it. I even made Ben do it. You can literally feel it. If you feel any pain, it means that there's trauma stored there. You can be on one side. Sometimes people cry apparently when they do this exercise because there's like a lot of emotions. A lot of times like letting go of trauma like comes from the body. When you release trauma from the body, you end up like crying and stuff. Anyways, I could talk about this. I can go on and on. There's a song. But anyways, I am in this in-between phase. I feel like, so the way that I feel is I feel like I'm on the verge, right? I literally feel like I'm at 200 hertz on the conscious map of vibrational frequencies. If you don't know what that is, look it up. I've referenced back to it multiple times throughout the years and in different videos and courses and things that I've done. But I feel like I'm at the verge, at the merge and the verge. I'm really at like the crosshead. I'm like right in the middle. And I see this future. I don't know. I feel like, you know how I told you how like I've always put this, I always knew that this avatar would come. I just never knew when. And it's like, she would have never just appeared out of nowhere. You know, it's like she had to have endured some shit to decide to come and fucking play, if you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean? You don't just use every avatar for any situation. Like, I always knew that she was gonna come and play, that I was always gonna play her. I didn't know what would be required. I didn't know what would be required in order to be her. And I actually fucking get it. I really do get it. I'm very excited about where she takes us, where she takes me, where she takes us. Really excited to birth her. But I guess like I'm gonna wrap this up. But I don't know if you ever created a character, but there's a lot of things that come into play. And when I say a character, it's kind of like it's an identity shift, is what it really is. It's an identity shift. What it really comes down to is there is a life that you desire for yourself at whatever capacity that is. Some of us haven't even dared to dream that far out. Some of us have been playing too small. But there is a life that some of us have always wanted to live or have or experience, right? And so let's say there's just like a specific lifestyle, right? Where you can just picture it. Whatever the fuck, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to give you guys an example so you know what we're talking about. Like, it can be like you just see how you want to raise your family, let's say. and you see summers here and winters here and this type of a house and how many houses you're going to have and the type of, I don't know, businesses and the type of things, right? It can be like that, but it can also be like you aspiring to be a famous singer and just like dying for that kind of a lifestyle of having your hair done and your makeup done and the performances and backstage and the red carpets and, and it's like you could just fantasize, right, about a specific life that you want to have. And I'm going to say this again. A lot of you aren't dreaming big enough. You're not. You're capable of so much more and you're playing it fucking small. Please do yourself a favor. Do bigger. Do bigger in 2026. I'm telling you. It's supposed to be a very high vibrational year on the, what is it called? There's like this thing for money. It's supposed to be really big for everyone. So just so you know. But, so it's like, okay, let's say that your dream is to be a famous singer and you want it because of X, right? You want the red carpet, you want the record deal, you want the recognition, you want the fame, you want your fans to run up to you and be like, hey, I want your autograph, or fucking song rocks, or you want to go on TikTok and watch people fucking do dances to your video, right? Or I love how my robot's recording me right now. Super fucking cool. What world do we live in that we have a fucking robot? Classic. My robot is like it's a shug robot. It cleans the floors, but it obviously always just turns on and just records me. Or maybe like, right, like you want a family and you want a specific life, or maybe you don't even want a family. Maybe you just want like a specific life for yourself. And so you have this vision, right? And it's like, okay, so you have the vision, but now who do you need to become in order to have that? Who do you need to become? Can't, no offense. No offense. You can't be the you that you are now. You just can't. Love the you that you are now, but she can't. She can't. It's just, that's not what's required in order to have that level of a life. Do you understand what I'm saying? You want that life, that fantasy life, whatever it is that you're thinking about, because life is a buffet and you get to play whatever fucking character you want in life. But so if you want that life, whatever that life is that you just visualize and have to download it with, what does that require of you? Because most of the time, whoever you are in this very moment in time can't go there. There is a identity shift that needs to happen in order to match your vibrational frequencies with that version of you that has that life and that already is living that life and all the fucking things. Does that make sense? I can get deeper on this. I've done this so many times in my life, in just different categories, which is how I've like had so many avatars in this lifetime. I've had a lot of identity shifts, and we're going through one right now. I'm like, this should definitely be a masterclass. I could just like really dive deep into that. I think it's a really fucking sick ass topic. I'm just here to tell you that something's brewing, so stay tuned because it's about to fucking explode. Like, it's kind of like you put a popcorn bag in the microwave and just the popcorn's about to come and the pop. Yeah, that's where I feel like I am in life currently. From the broken to like the what's to come. So anyways, this has been an interesting podcast episode. It's crazy because I feel like I haven't been in a creating mode, but I'm creating now with my voice. Isn't that wild? I think it's wild. Sometimes we think that like creating requires like a pen and a paper, or it requires your fucking phone, like, I don't know, taking a picture or a video and creating content, or I don't know, you know what I mean? Or getting a canvas. And I have been creative. I've been creative in my house. And you can still be creative, even in a lower vibrational state, but it's not going to come to you as easily and as a flow as it would if you're vibrating higher, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm like, it's my voice. My voice is literally like the most fucking perfect as fuck creative outlet for me. A lot of times I feel like I'm like, okay, so I'm just gonna be sitting here in the back, waiting for this, waiting for the healing to happen. Not waiting, right? Like taking action on the healing to happen. And meanwhile, I'm just not gonna be creative, but meanwhile, I'm like fucking simultaneously creating this podcast episode. No, I'm gonna wrap this up, but I will say this that I have never in my life realized how fucking important my voice is until this year, until this like last half a year. I've never realized what a fucking true gift it is to speak your truth, to know how to articulate yourself, to communicate, to be allowed to speak, to be allowed to self-express. Like, what a motherfucking gift. I say that because there were multiple times this year where I couldn't speak up for myself, for situations, for things where my voice was literally shut down, shut down, stolen from me, unallowed to speak. Whether I was physically blocked from certain individuals in my family or um ignored from certain members of the family, or just like different things that haven't that like blocked me from speaking truth, from speaking my truth, for just, it's like sometimes it's not even about being right, it's just about being able to share and being able to communicate and being able to speak. A lot of times this year I felt like Ariel, that like her voice was stolen and given to Ursula. Like I felt like that like multiple times. Not multiple, I mean like a few dozen times, way more than multiple. But what a gift it is to have a podcast. And maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a sign to podcast more. Could be. But thank you for allowing me to speak. I hope today's episode was interesting. And yeah, I love you. I'll see you on the next one.